Good morning, it's Sean, back at it again. Today we're going to be talking about how you can increase your likability and develop your charisma to be on command.
Nerf this!
Everyone wants to be liked, whether it's by one people, a mass of people. There's someone in your life that you want to like you. Now, if you say no to yourself, you're lying, because there's someone out there that you want to like you. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 simple ways on how you can increase your likability and charisma and get more people to like you quickly. So the first way to increase your charisma is to genuinely show interest in that other person. And you may be saying to yourself, well, Sean, no duh. But 1, common sense isn't that common, and 2, the key word there is to show. You may be genuinely interested in that person, but unless you show it, they'll never know it. So in order to show genuine interest, you can do this in 2 ways. 1 is a simple way, keep eye contact. Follow the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, keep eye contact. The 20% of the time when they divert their eyes, you can do the same and break eye contact. For example, when someone's talking to you, let's say it's your buddy Steve, you don't want to be looking like this. Yeah, cool, Steve. Sweet. You want to be, oh man, Steve, that's amazing. Right? See the difference there? The second small way to show genuine interest is to ask open-ended questions. But more importantly, the nuance to that open-ended question is to deliver a drill down. And I'll give you a small example right here. Let's say you and your new acquaintance Steve are talking, and you have taken a genuine interest in Steve, and you want Steve to like you back. You want to develop a friendship with Steve. So one of my favorite open-ended questions or open-ended statements is, tell me about your hometown. And the reason for this is because people usually can talk a lot about their hometown, and you can find out a lot of information about that person just by them explaining their hometown to you. So for example, you may ask Steve, tell me about your hometown. Steve may say something like, man, you know what, I grew up in Boston, it was close to everything, always something to do. Here's where you need to deliver the drill down. And the drill down is usually something that follows up that open-ended question. So when Steve says his little description about Boston, you say something along the lines of, oh wow, Boston, really? Tell me more. That gets Steve to open up a little bit more now that you've drilled down on that question. So Steve may say something like, oh yeah, I mean, I grew up in this small Italian neighborhood, the North End. I was close to North Station, and I grew up a block away from the original Regina Pizzeria. You've just found out a whole lot more information about Steve, and you've built that next level of rapport. And when you follow up with that open-ended question, Steve in the back of his mind is saying, man, he took a genuine interest in me. Now, let's see it go the other way. Hey Steve, tell me about your hometown. You know what, I grew up in Boston, it was close to everything, and there was always something to do. And if you did not follow the steps I just gave you, you may be doing something like this. Oh yeah, Boston, cool. Park the car and have it yard. Something along those lines, right? So I hope all that makes sense, and I hope you got a little bit of value there. I gotta go into town, so you know how that goes, and I gotta go type up a lease. At least it's beautiful outside, so I'm ready and looking forward to this day. Let's get to work. Keep on watching, because when we get to the office and we walk in the streets, I'm gonna give you the second tip, and you're not gonna wanna miss number 2 and 3. Let's go. Alright, so my second tip to be more charismatic and more likable is to bring the energy. In all of my videos, I at least try to be high energy and entertaining for everyone. Have you ever met a person that you didn't love or hate that had all the energy in the world? Now these people are often polarizing, which means what I just said. Either you really like them or you really dislike them. Either way, you're not going to be able to resonate with everyone. However, the people with the high energy that you seem to like, you don't just like, you love. So when you bring the energy and people resonate with that, or resonate with your personality, and you're playing off of the first tip that I gave you, that it's only gonna add the favor your way. So you really have to be as high energy as possible. Be extra. Everyone thinks it may not be the coolest thing to be extra nowadays, but who doesn't love someone that's extra? I mean, doesn't that make you feel good when someone goes above and beyond for you? I think it does. I know it works for me. It's a gorgeous day out right now. I can't believe how warm it is. I'm sweating and I'm only in this little track jacket. But I mean, it's too nice. You can't not enjoy it. So I'm just walking through Back Bay right now, and it's gorgeous. I think I'm gonna sit down and just stop and smell the roses. Another thing that bringing the energy does for you is oftentimes after you leave the conversation or the interaction with that person, it leaves them with the impression of increase, which basically is a fancy way of saying it leaves someone feeling good about themselves. Now think of this, the next time you see that person, the room is gonna brighten up. You're gonna walk in the room and they're gonna be like, oh my God, Sean's here, yes. So every time you leave someone feeling better about themselves, that's only gonna make them more excited to see you next time, and also increase their self-esteem before you leave or just after your departure. So I hope that makes sense. But number 3 is my favorite, and we'll get to that in a bit. But like I said, I'm just gonna stop and enjoy the beautiful weather while we got it, because we're in New England and it could change in 5 minutes.
They say you don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here. And no, I don't wanna be alone in the world out there. Here we go.
Speaking of extra, I was just on Newbury Street before my last appointment. Had to lose the track jacket because it is way too hot today for that. And if you know Newbury Street, you know you're gonna find some extra people there. And speaking of the weather, I gotta get something to drink, so let me quench this thirst. Honestly, I don't know about you guys, but if you do drink seltzer water, I personally prefer San Pellegrino. I don't know, I also like Polar, but every other brand doesn't seem to quite stack up to those two. Is it just me? Alright, so my third and final tip on how you can be more likable and more charismatic is to be humble. Another one that seems obvious, but there's some nuances to it. What I mean by being humble is not going around bragging about how much money you make, how successful you are, how many women you've slept with. No one wants to hear that. Unless someone specifically asks you those questions, there's no need to bring it up. Being boastful about those types of things is really just masking your own insecurity about it. So you need to come to terms with it with yourself. So don't go around bragging about this or that. In fact, if you deflect most of the attention from yourself to another person, not only will that make them feel more valued, but it'll also show that you have genuine interest in them and leave them with that impression of increase that I related to for point number 2. With that being said, being humble isn't just not about bragging, it's about accepting responsibility. And what I mean when I say that is, instead of every time you win, it's I and me, no, it is us and we. But every time you fail, or every time your team fails, being a leader and being humble about it is I and me. So let me bring that back. Every time you win, it's us and we. Every time you lose, it's I and me. Accept responsibility for those failures and give credit to the wins, to the teammates, or that other person. For example, if you're in a workplace with Steve, let's just say you guys came together on a project and really rocked it. Deflect all that credit to Steve. Steve will get that impression of increase. He will know that you have a genuine interest in him, and overall he'll value you as a person and a friend that much more. So I hope all of that makes sense, and I hope that this helped you. If you need a little refresher, here are the 3 steps. Those are gonna help you be more likable, more charismatic, and help you reach your goals. Again, my name is Sean, and each and every video I do try to make you the best version of you. If you are finding my channel for the first time, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. You turn on post notifications, because I do release videos every Monday to get your week going and every Friday to get your weekend started. I also do release bonus videos at random, and you don't want to miss a thing. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will catch you next time. Signing off.